So very heartwarming sentiments there from our brother from the Middle East. And it just shows you that love of Khilafat that connects members of the Ahmadiyya community from all around the world. Now I'm joined by Farooq Mahmood Saab, who is Muhtam Imam for Khudam al-Ahmadiyya UK. Farooq Saab, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Farooq
Saab, we've just come to the end of this concluding session, the end of this flagship event for the year. What are your feelings at this point in time?
I think feelings is a combination of course, everyone feels emotional that it's been a success, alhamdulillah. Secondly, the sense of responsibility that sort of lies ahead of us now. Year ends, and again, Huzur gives us a very important, pertinent message for us to take home, which in fact is Salat once again. I mean, it reminds me even the first of the Ijtemas we had since Huzur became Khalifa in 2003, a couple of months after he became Khalifa. Even that was also about Salat. And Huzur addressed both the Germany Khuddam and the UK Khuddam at that time. So it tells us that how important task of a Khalifa is in terms of inculcating in us how important Salat is, and then how concerned Huzur is for our well-being. So I think, yes, going home with mixed emotions, thankfulness, gratefulness. Huzur has blessed us for the last 3 days, and he's led us in prayers. But I think another thing is, in fact, Huzur has taught us so many lessons being here. One thing is about Salat itself. Huzur has been so busy, of course. Relentless period of so many weeks of Huzur's tours, when to Germany, then Belgium, then come straight here, 3 days here with us. Now next week at the Ijtema of Mazhar-ul-Haq and Lajna Ma'ala. And it's a relentless calendar of Huzur's. But at the same time, the calmness and the serenity in Huzur's face at all times, which is quite is passed on to people. So when you look at Huzur, you become the same. So a lot of young children, for example, they're very keen on getting close to Huzur or seek attention of Huzur and say salam. And Huzur very calmly stands with them for a little while, talks to them, smiles at them, and asks them interesting questions which kids feel fulfilled with.
Yeah, it's the small things that really warm their hearts. You've been involved in the organisation side of the Ijtema for many, many years, and as a Khadim yourself, you've seen the Ijtema grow over the decades. How has the Ijtema as an event, how has it developed over the last few years?
Indeed, it has grown astronomically in the last few years, in particular. Wasi Makanak being one of the revelations of Prophet Islam, and we've seen that even within the auxiliary organizations of Jamaat, and Khuddam al-Ahmadiyya is no exception. And what we've seen is, in fact, I mean, again, going back to Huzur's Khilafat when it started, we had Ijtemas and even Jalsas held in Islamabad, which is absolutely unimaginable now. So, of course, size-wise has grown. Secondly, what happened was very much at the early days of this administration, 6 years now, was the focus on house visits, going to people's houses across the country. And that, in fact, reflects on the Ijtema itself. So what happens is Ijtema, as the Muslim Maud even said this as well, the Ijtema is not just a one-day thing. It's, in fact, your preparation starts because you are approaching Khuddam. As the Muslim Maud admonished at some point, I think it was 1941, but maybe because that was the first year when he gave a speech separate to Ijtema for Ahmadiyya. Anyhow, so what happened was the house visits, in fact, reflected on attendance at Ijtemas. Attendance now again being more than 5,000, you've heard. And similarly, the engagement of Khuddam, even at the Ijtema, for example, there's so many other events happening. For example, youth marquee, where some of the Khuddam feel as if they lack confidence to do other things. For instance, they've got other things to do. So plenty of other affairs to enjoy yourself and learn at the same time, and offer namaz behind Huzur. Nothing is like that.
Jazakallah, Farooq, I appreciate it. We are short on time, and as we mentioned, the highlight of the event was the concluding session that was graced by the presence of Huzur, and we have some pertinent moments from that which we'll show for our viewers now.
On the final day of the Khuddam Ijtema, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V, may Allah be his helper, arrived and graciously gave time to take photos with the various Amla groups. Following this, Huzur led the Zuhr and Asr prayers in the main marquee, before the commencement of the concluding session. Sadr Khuddam al-Ahmadiyya UK gave a brief report regarding the various aspects of the Ijtema.
By the grace of Allah, we have now arrived at the concluding session of this year's Ijtema. The theme of this year's Ijtema is Salat, which was followed in all local and regional Ijtemas. It is only with Allah's grace and mercy and Huzur's continued guidance and prayers that we have been able to set up and hold Ijtema at this site, Country Market in Hampshire.
I will now read out the names of the winners for academic and sports competitions who will have the honor of receiving prize from the blessed hand of beloved Huzur Aqdas Ayyadallahu Ta'ala.
The winners of the various academic and sports competitions were blessed to receive their prize from His Holiness. This year's Ijtema was concluded with the address delivered by Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V, may Allah be his helper, which was followed by silent prayer.
This year, Mazhar-ul-Haq UK made Salat their theme. I hope and expect that at every level, the administration of Ahmadiyya will have made a concerted effort to encourage the Khuddam and Atfal regarding Salat and explaining its utmost importance.
So with that, we come to the conclusion of our live report and the conclusion of our 3-day coverage of this event. As you heard from Hazuri Anwar's words, the focus has been on Salat, and we end with the prayer that we are able to fulfill our duties of Salat and live up to the high expectations set by us, by Hazuri Anwar, may Allah be his helper. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage and that we've been able to bring you some of the scenes from around the Ijtema, and hope that that has enabled you to feel a part of this special event. So inshallah, until the next time, from myself and the whole crew, finally I would like to thank the crew as well. They've been working tirelessly around behind the scenes, working day and night, filming and editing, and we hope that you have enjoyed the broadcast that they've been able to bring you. So from myself and the whole team, until the next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.